So I was in church the other day, and I was sitting in the back row, and in front of me is this cute little family, mother, father, newborn baby. And I'm not a baby person, so, I don't really pay much attention to them. But this baby was different, dude. This baby looked like it knew what was going on. This baby, it was like this baby had seen some things. This baby looked like it had maybe 45 years worth of life experience. And while the sermon is going on, this baby is like, like almost like a horror movie. It like turns its head and makes like eye contact with me, direct eye contact. And I'm like, whoa, and it was like so intense. It was like I was in trouble with my teacher or something. My teacher was about to scold me or something, and and this baby wasn't like like a drooling little baby, This baby was like looking at me with like disappointment, This baby was like, and I was like, okay, whoa. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and just focus on the service, but I can't because I'm sweating, dude. This baby has me sweating, I'm just wondering, what did I do to this baby? And then I start thinking, what if this baby can like see inside my soul, What if it knows my deepest, darkest secrets? What if it knows all my sins, Like, forget the normal judgy people in church. This baby is the real judge. Yeah, and then this baby like looks at me like this all of a sudden. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Then he's like, oh, so you went with that haircut? And I was like, what? And then the mother like turned around with the baby, and then she was like, huh? And I was like, no, sorry. Then she faces forward again, and then I could see that baby looking at me like, Anyways, let's start the show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. If it's your first time, welcome. If you're a resident of the show, then welcome back. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and listening. And if you haven't already, please do hit subscribe. Everyone that watches, please try and subscribe. It all really helps. But yeah, welcome to the show, man. This is just a show that I do. It's you can call it a hobby. But I am someone who tends to take his hobbies very seriously, and I really do enjoy this little show that I do. It's nice to tell stories and to share my life, share parts of my life with you. Whoever you may be. A lot of people are very secretive and private about their lives, but I'm a very open character, man. I don't like to, I will forget. Like, if you tell me a secret, bro, your secret's probably safe with me because, number one, I probably wasn't paying attention to what you were saying. And number two, even if I was, I probably forgot because I lost interest. And that's just how it goes with me. Let me just adjust this. I don't know. Is it too high? Is it too low? Oh my goodness. I don't know. All right. I think that's fine. But whatever. Not going to worry about the aesthetic. But yeah, I'm just like an open book, man. I don't really, I think a lot of people value their privacy, and I am also one of those people. It's just that there's not much that I keep private. I think if I were to think now, what do I keep private? Okay, so obviously, in the shower, that's private. If I'm on the toilet, that's private. And then whatever I've written in my journal, that's probably private, But what else is private? Oh, like I like writing jokes, they're not very good, but those are also private. No one's allowed to read my jokes. That's personal intellectual property. You're not allowed to read that stuff. I'll share it. I'll tell a joke when I want to. But what else is private? Oh, also some of my compositions and stuff, like it's not compositions, it's more like just outlines and ideas that need to be developed and all that. So even that's private. But yeah, man, I think privacy is important, but I'm also not like a extremely private person, you know. Like, like sure, where I spend a lot of time in my room, you know, this is kind of like my workstation, my bedroom, my practice room, you know, I practice here. I do most of my life in this room actually. And I don't think that's probably not good. You need to go places, you need to do things, you know, you can't just be in your room all the time. But nonetheless, but it's like, yeah, like people knock on the door and, you know, I always say, come in. I'm never like, don't come in, you know. And then sometimes you're like changing and then you're like, come in. You're like, why don't come in? You know, because you kind of forget. Because you always have this I have this very welcoming spirit, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, privacy, man. That's an interesting one because, you know, some people are like extra private, you know, like they don't want anyone to know anything that they do, you know, and I don't trust those people, you know. I think what makes people trustworthy for the most part is being open, you know, like I don't care what's going on in your life, but if you're hiding stuff, man, that's somewhat suspicious, you know. Like this normal privacy, and then it's like, I'm not telling you what I do for work. I'm not telling you what I ate for breakfast. I'm not telling you how I started my relationship with my boyfriend, like, or my girlfriend, or how I met, you know, my husband or whatever. Like, okay, that's weird. You're not gonna tell me? That's super weird, dude. Like, are you a spy? Have you been hired by the CIA or the KGB or National Intelligence? Like, what's going on, man? What is going on? You know. But I'm just that suspicious character, actually. Like, if everything is out in the open, there's no need for suspicion, you know? So, yeah, it's a funny thing. The other thing I also find quite interesting, actually, is people's personal spaces, you know? Everybody has a different size, you know, of personal space. Now, my personal space is like, dude, it's like right here. Like, I have zero personal space, dude. We like, yeah, like let's just get as close as we can. You know, if I don't even know you, it's fine. Let's huddle up. You know, I don't know why that is, but I have a very small personal space, so then, maybe it's like an extrovert thing, but I'm not actually sure. I don't think it's personality based. It might be, you know, an experience thing. I don't know, but like. Yeah, like some people have like huge personal spaces. Like there's people that are like, hey, 5 meters, bro. You know, like that's a huge personal space, you know. And I remember reading something about that. Like, I think it's on average, you know, obviously every individual is different, but on average, people who live in cities, you know, especially densely populated cities, densely populated areas in general, those people on average, tend to have a smaller personal space, you know? And people who live in like rural areas or more secluded parts of the world, like if you live on a farm or you grew up in like a village or like a, you know, a township or, you know, whatever, if you grew up in such a place, you know, then you have a huge personal space, you know. So that's nogal interesting, you know. And that's why, like, if you go to like a really densely populated city like Johannesburg, for example, and you get on a train or you get on a bus, people don't mind being like super close. Even in a taxi, people don't mind being like super close to you, dude. Even in Bloemfontein, yes. And I remember I used to take a taxi. I used to take 2 taxis, actually. One taxi was to go downtown, right? Taxi to downtown, and then a taxi to a place called Bloomside Phase 6, right? Or Phase 2. I can't remember which one it was. But I was working there on a construction site, you know? And you would take 2 taxis, and in the morning, okay, the smell is generally acceptable. You know, you smell humans that have, you know, just cleansed themselves in the morning. Everybody has had a fresh wash or a shower or whatever. Everybody smells like lotion and soap and shampoo and all of that, you know. Everybody smells clean. Okay, let's just call a spade a spade. Everybody smells clean in the morning. So the taxi going to town is nice and smelling fresh, and then the taxi from town to the construction site is also nice and fresh. Okay, and now a full day's work has just taken place. Okay, a full day's work, dude. And by the way, where I worked, it was the taxi's last stop, so I'm normally like the last one to get out, or me and possibly a colleague or someone who's also working on that site is there. And okay, then I get onto the taxi, and it's just me. After work, you get in, it's just you. Now from here, the journey begins. We're gonna pick up people in various places on our way to town. And it, for me, it's like, okay, it's just me. It smells fine. Maybe there's a little bit of a musk on me, but it's not stinky. And then as time goes on, we start picking people up. Now there's 2 or 3 people in the taxi. Okay, it doesn't smell too bad or anything. You can still have that human. It still smells like person in there. And then we keep going, and then the closer we get to downtown, dude, the more intense the scent of humanity is there. It's like, it gets brutal. Okay, at some point you just wanna put your head out of the window, just just I don't know, waft the outside air into the cabin of this taxi, dude. And obviously it's like you and 16 other people, and the smell in there is quite intense. You smell feet, you smell pits, you smell bum, you just smell all kinds of sweat, and all kinds of impurity, and it just, yeah, I don't know why I thought about that, but sorry to gross you out, actually. Then you get to town, and town anyway smells like that, so you're just in the normal environment. It prepares you. I don't know why downtown smells that way, it's like, I don't know why downtown smells like that. And I feel like it's, wherever you go downtown, it smells terrible, there's rubbish everywhere, garbage juice, rats, stagnant water for some reason. Have you noticed, there's always a little pool of water at least somewhere downtown. You're gonna walk past a puddle. Has it rained recently? No, it's just water that's there, and then there's a dead bird floating in there or something, a dead pigeon, aka sky rats. Shout out to pigeons. They can all fly away and never come back. That'd be cool. Anyways, let me not get too intensely emotionally involved in those terrible creatures. But anyways, you just see a little pigeon floating there, that water. You're like, what's going on, And there's always where you can see, okay, someone made a fire there, someone sleeps there. That's someone's bedroom, but it's also the sidewalk, and that's sad. But and that's probably why the smell is like that, just human droppings everywhere, and urine. There's definitely gonna be some urine, and I say urine, but you know what I'm talking about. Peachy, pee-pee, urine, okay? And there's always that smell around, and I just wonder, how much is that? It's almost like, if whatever suburb you come from, when you flush the toilet, it ends up in downtown, wherever you live. I promise you, that's how downtown smells, okay? And I don't know why, dude. If it's the busiest part of town, surely it should be the cleanest part. I don't know. I don't understand it, Have you also I've also noticed how downtown grows, Because where I live right now, downtown is literally down the street, right? But 5 years ago, that was not downtown. Down the street was not downtown. Downtown was way further back, So I feel like downtown is growing, it's increasing, And I think I want to leave this place. As soon as I start smelling urine on a regular basis, I'm out of here, son. I'm going to go find another place to live until downtown catches up to me there. But yeah, it's a curious thing. It's a very curious thing. And downtown's an interesting place to be, One thing you don't see is police. There's no law enforcement presence, in downtown. Maybe there is where you are, but yeah, in Bloemfontein, dude. Actually, if I think about it, nah, I don't really see law enforcement anywhere. You know, just to realize that, let's just think about that. I don't really see law enforcement anywhere. Even nearby police stations, dude. You go past a police station, there's not like one of those buckies, those vans. You don't see them drive around, dude. Even traffic law enforcement, you don't see those guys. That's why everybody drives like Muppets, really just I don't know why people drive that way, but anyways. So because you don't see law enforcement downtown, you definitely see the opposite of law enforcement. And what is that gonna be? Criminal activity, And that's always interesting, I've never been involved in criminal activity, but you see it. You're like, oh, I just saw a guy gave money to another guy, and the guy that he gave money to gave him a little white bag or gave him a little green bag, just a little, And this is happening in the open. People are shopping. People are walking around. A homeless guy is just like, or some alcoholic is just, just walking around. And people are shopping. People are, buying and selling. Oh, look at these random herbs on this like cardboard table. Let me buy some of that. People are just, trading is going on in it, and it's legit. It's like, people are running businesses, both legal and illegal. And that's always a funny thing to see. Yeah, and then it smells really bad. Like, that's the most distracting part of it all. It really smells, especially on a hot day. And that taxi, dude, on a summer day, you don't want to be there, dude. You're gonna learn to breathe through your mouth. I don't have a choice but to breathe through my mouth because my nose, I don't know what's happening. It's a bit of a mess. And it's also flower season. The cold is finally gone, I think. And I miss the cold, honestly. I do enjoy the cool air. So it's gonna be really hot, blistering hot. I think they're on the Afrikaans news, and they say dit gaan bloedig warm wees. Or bloedwarm? Bloedig. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't really watch the Afrikaans news. You walk by and then you hear, oh, dit gaan warm wees. Oh, dit gaan ijskoud. Dit gaan sneeuw on the berge or whatever. I don't know what they're saying. But yeah, like it's interesting. Like, it's like, why does it seem like people without rules, without the enforcement of rules rather, people will just behave badly? It's interesting, And I think I've read about some studies that they've done with children, where if you leave children like to their own devices, like in a room, let's say you put a child in a room and you say, here's a jelly baby. Okay, here's a sweetie you can have. It's on the table. You can eat it now, or when I come back, I will bring 2 more for you. Then you have 3 if you don't eat it by the time I'm back. And that's just how you torture a little kid, man. Come on. And then they leave the child in the room, and dude, some of those kids, man, immediately are like, they're like, I'm not waiting. And then some kids are like, it doesn't take them long, and then it's a very rare child that'll wait for whatever duration, unspecified amount of time will pass, and then the lady comes back and then says, here you go, now you can have 3 sweets, and then but yeah, then it changes. Okay, then it changes. It's like they leave the child in a room. Then they say, you are not allowed to eat this sweet. Then they leave the room. And then some of those kids are like, almost immediately, like, I don't care. I'm eating this sweet, dude. I'll say sorry later. And I think that's just what human beings are, man. That's just what human beings are. That's who we are. If you are not supervised, we catch on nonsense, And I think that's just in our nature. Because, I mean, anyone that has like a toddler knows, like, if you don't see your toddler for like 2 minutes, if your toddler is gone and the house is quiet for 2 minutes, you know something terrible is going on. That child is busy with something, And I know, like, for me, like, my sister's 12 now. But when she was a toddler, dude, she would catch on all kinds of nonsense, Like, once we were like, where is she? Like, I don't hear her. Like, and it's like, yeah. Then we find her in the kitchen, and she has washed herself, her whole body and her clothes. With what? With flour. Dude, she's covered head to toe in flour, and she's just like, eating it and things. And we're like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm sorry, I don't understand kids, dude. Oh my word. But that's human nature. If you leave us alone, we catch on nonsense, dude. It's funny, man. I think even in the Bible they knew that. They say idle hands do the devil's work. I remember once we were like, again, it was like that moment of, where is she? She's kind of quiet, And then you run around looking for her because she's catching on nonsense. And you walk in, and sure enough, she has used a tub of Vaseline to take her beautiful hair, from this nice little style into I don't even know what that is, just I don't know, is it a mohawk or whatever? You're just like, what is going on here, But yeah, I wonder what other kind of nonsense do kids catch on, man. Hey, if you have some interesting stories about a toddler, whatever toddlers get up to, why don't you I don't know, send me a message. I think I should put the hotline on again. Yeah, send me a voice note or text it to me. And that number is 072 012 1804. Hit me up, man. Share with me what experiences you've had with toddlers catching on nonsense. I'd really love to know. And obviously, if you submit such a story, you already give permission for me to share it in the next episode. So yeah, if you want to do that, go ahead and let me know. That'll be really fun. But yeah, man, what else? How much time has passed? I don't even know. I never know. That's concerning. But okay, wait, let me just see here. Like, okay, we're pretty much into it now. Oh no, I shouldn't have closed that. Okay, cool. I really need to get a clock or something, I don't know. Or a producer. A clock or a producer. Which one's cheaper? I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, it's quite fun to be here. What's been going on in life lately? Well, let's see. What happened on Saturday? Oh, Saturday, I was involved in a concert, and that was fun. It was a fun little concert, and everyone that was there really, really enjoyed it, And it wasn't like for money or for anything. It was just, it was a Thanksgiving concert, So it was like in our church, that is the New Apostolic Church, we celebrate Thanksgiving, and it's almost like a tradition that the day before we do like a nice music hour, singing songs of praises and thanks, and yeah, so that was what we were doing, and it was really fun. And my brother was the conductor for this particular event. And he selected a lot of the music and all that. And there was this piece, man. Oh my word. This piece. Now, like, some pieces are written for an instrument, right? So it's like choir and organ, for example, in this case, But this particular piece, and I'm talking about the organ accompaniment because, as you know, I do play the organ, I play the piano. This particular organ accompaniment was not written as an organ accompaniment. It was written originally for an orchestra, and that was reduced or condensed rather. I wouldn't call it a reduction. I would call it a what did I just say now? I said not reduced. My word, I lost the word now. It's not a reduction. It was just compressed. It's a compression. And you're like, here you go, organist, play the whole orchestra's parts. And that's what I had to play, dude, and it was so difficult. Oh my word, I was stressing, and that piece was like towards the end of the of the concert. So the whole concert up until that piece gets played, I'm just, even if I'm playing other pieces of music, which is relatively easy, I'm just obsessed with that piece. You gotta, and it's called "We Shall Remain United," and it is brutal. If you're an organist, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you were an organist and you know that piece, you know what I'm talking about, man. That piece is unreal, okay? And it defeated me. But I'm not going to give up. I'm still practicing that piece. And then if someone says, come, let's sing this, I'm ready to play it, So that was fun. It was only fun afterwards. As soon as that piece ended, I enjoyed the rest of the concert, So it's interesting how a piece can capture you, capture your emotions and capture your thoughts. It really is, it's distracting or engaging rather. But I like that kind of engagement, man. And I don't like to shy away from a challenge. I will lean into it. Simply because the Stoics talk a lot about that. The impediment to action, is the action, meaning basically the obstacle is the way, basically whenever you encounter a challenge and it stands in your way, the obstacle has to be what becomes the way, so you have to make sure that I feel the tone has become so serious all of a sudden. But you have to, I believe, if you want to succeed at anything, when you encounter a challenge, right, that's probably the direction you need to follow. Whatever the most challenging thing is, that's the direction you need to follow, because a few things happen when you encounter a challenge or when you lean into a challenge, right? It strengthens you. And it teaches you something. So it strengthens you in the way that you are now pushing against a resistance. That's what exercise is, right? So there's a resistance, an obstacle. You have to overcome it somehow, and you have to push through. So maybe it's a physical barrier that is making your body stronger. Maybe it's a psychological barrier that will make you stronger mentally. Maybe it's something that requires discipline and it'll strengthen your discipline, But anyway, so it makes you stronger, right? The other thing is when you encounter an obstacle and you push through it, is that you develop all of a sudden the ability to overcome such a challenge. So now there's one less challenge you need to deal with in life. And that means that when a similar challenge comes along your path, it's no longer a challenge. Like, I got this, That's awesome. Then the feeling you get when you pass that challenge, when you have not given up, it's knocked you down a few times, but you haven't given up. You pushed through, you pushed on, you kept getting up when you got knocked down, and you overcame it. That feeling of victory, of overcoming, that's a celebration, man, and that's a good feeling. And then also what happens, let's just make it a fourth point. What happens is you prove to yourself that you are the kind of person that can overcome such a challenge. And that is important. So I think that's why a lot of people are lost in life. If you ever feel lost, just look at whatever's the most difficult thing in your life, because I guarantee you were probably avoiding it. You were probably avoiding your biggest obstacle, your biggest challenge. And it's not going to go away if you ignore it. It's not going to go away, dude. It's waiting for you to deal with it, And you'll be surprised how much your life can change just by overcoming this obstacle. Because after that obstacle, you're going to have a way, a path to go through. Fine, now I'm on this direction, I'm on this path, but now there's another obstacle, And there's always a choice, right? The obstacle is blocking the path you should take. But then there's a second option, right? You can choose the easy road. But you're not sure where the easy road leads. You might think it leads to where you want it to go, where the obstacle is blocking. You might think that it's a way around, but it might not be, So it's like, that's why I lean into challenges, because I don't want to ever be caught in a position where I find myself at the end of or I find myself reaching an obstacle, but because I took a shortcut, I can't handle that obstacle, Like, no, dude. Like, so basically, I don't want to ever do that. And if I find a piece that's difficult, I'm like, what's the most difficult piece? That one? Give me that one. And that's how I do, man. It's a sort of a forced self-improvement. You have now the opportunity to improve yourself in a way that benefits you. Because, what self-improvement doesn't benefit you, So I think about that a lot, and I look for... I actually actively seek out those challenges, because the easy way is never worth it, I think. And the easiest things to do are never going to be the most worthwhile things to do, Reaching a goal that was easy doesn't feel as good as reaching a goal after... the road was tough, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of life in general, because life is difficult. And when you experience difficulty and you overcome that difficulty, oh my word, that feeling is irreplaceable. There's nothing that can make you feel that way, I also learned something very interesting about our brains, There's things that form in our brains that code for new genetics, new proteins and all that stuff, right? That you can eventually pass along to your children. When there's an obstacle that is in your way and you don't want to do it, but then you do it, right? It literally creates something in your brain that you can carry on to the rest of your offspring, That's brilliant, dude. So now it's like, okay, what's difficult? Cold showers. Cool, I'm going to do cold showers. And I do. It's like, what's difficult? Playing this piece and that piece. Okay, sharp, that's the pieces I'm going to play, What's difficult? What is difficult? I don't know. I haven't encountered many difficulties lately, except that piece. That piece was brutal, and it was acceptable. But I don't like to perform to an acceptable standard. I want to perform to I want to say perfect standard. But I don't like being a perfectionist, because what is the point in perfection? A robot can perform a piece of music perfectly, but it's not going to mean anything. So you kind of want to. It's like something else. It's not perfection. It's the edge of your ability. That's where you want to be, really. Even if you're not going to perform it perfectly, if you're at the edge of your ability, you are in the position to grow maximally. That's what I believe. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I've been thinking about lately. So that's what happened on Saturday. What else happened, man? What else happened? It was man, I'm just trying to think now. I don't know what else has been going on, actually. I've been having like a real conversation with myself lately, because as you know, if you've watched previous episodes, as you know, I'm super concerned about some things that are happening in the world right now, and the more I see, like, of course, obviously a story develops, right? The path that AI is taking is concerning. Okay, the way that AI people are developing, how fast it develops, the rate at which these improvements are taking place is alarming. It's not concerning, but it is alarming, But what's more concerning is like what's happening in the Middle East right now. Okay, it's hot, and I don't mean the sun or the desert or whatever. I mean missiles are being fired left, right, and center. All those countries around Israel are fighting with each other, dude. Or all of them fighting with Israel. Like, Israel must first bombed, Palestine. Okay, sharp. Then they bombed like Lebanon and Beirut and Iran and all these countries are now retaliating as well. Like, it's escalating, dude. There's an escalation, But the point is, I'm trying to be more stoic about it, right? It's not in my will. It's not in my power to worry about those things, okay? If that results in nuclear war, like, I can't not worry about that, man. But I should not worry about it because it's not in my control, man. I should just be able to focus, and that's obviously what I'm trying to do. I should just be able to focus on that which is in my power. Because if it's not in my power, I'm wasting energy, I'm wasting time, and that's bad. You should not do that. So yeah, and it's been taking me long to read this book. I've actually been so lazy. It should have taken me 2 weeks. I estimated that it would take me 2 weeks to read this book, and I'm about, I think, 85% done with it. Yeah, I'm about 85% done with it. But I also think it's important to take your time with a book. It's just that I haven't been reading it. Like, it was school holidays, and I guess my normal time for reading was during, like, when I wait for my sister at school, because I like to get parking early so that I don't struggle to find parking, because there's really not enough parking at schools, and I don't know why don't they solve that problem. But anyways, so I wait there, and then while I'm waiting, I read. Like, I have maybe 35 minutes, 40 minutes. That's how much time I have to read. Which is awesome, that's like a really solid amount of time. I can cover a lot of ground in terms of the book when I read that time. But like, when it was school holidays, that was obviously not happening, and therefore I'm not reading, because it's not part of the habit. So, but I guess what I should have done is be more disciplined, and then still in that same time slot read, But I was also, like, practicing piano a lot because of my audition. Yeah. I don't know if I shared this last time, but I've been accepted into the University for Music Studies. I think I did say it, actually, so I'm not going to worry too much about all that. No. I think I told you. Well, if I didn't, there we go. I've been accepted for music studies, man. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. I was so stressed. I really wanted this with all my heart, It's been a very big dream of mine for a long time. And it has, like, 10 years ago, I wanted to do this. I think I've mentioned it before on the show. But 10 years ago, I've wanted to go to music studies, And I did the auditions, and I was accepted. I just did not go study there because I listened to the wrong people's advice, And that happens sometimes. You get advice from the wrong people. You just shouldn't listen to some people. But okay, anyways, I did. I don't regret it because I got a lot of life experience, And I've developed the kind of work ethic that is necessary for me to become a successful student. And so that's what I'm planning on doing, So it was all worth it if I think about it at the end. But nonetheless, this was my dream for a long time. And I never gave up on the dream. At some point, the dream faded. Meaning, like, okay, I'm not going to consider that as a viable path for me. But I came to my senses eventually. And I took it seriously, man. And I do take it seriously, And it's funny, throughout my life, let's say I'm practicing. I'm like, okay, I've got 2 hours. I'm going to work on my skills. I'm going to practice my technical work. And I'm going to work on these pieces so that I can play them properly, or correctly at least. And then, like a knock on the door. They come in, it's my dad or my mom or my brothers or my sister. They're like, oh, you're not busy. Listen, can you do this? And I'm like, whoa, I am busy. I'm practicing. And they're like, that doesn't count. Like, it does count. What are you saying? So I guess it counts to me. But yeah, nonetheless, I took it seriously. And, by the grace of God, He has allowed me to do this. Because while I was like, because I had to film the audition, right? And while I was struggling, there was times where I even gave it up, man. Like, I was like, you know what? Like I remember this so vividly. I was sitting outside and I was just like, I had a crazy thought, and I can't believe I even allowed myself to think it, you know. But I was like, maybe music just isn't for me. That's a crazy thing. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm so deeply invested in music, and so much investment has taken place. It's investment in me, if I just think of all the music lessons and all the music teachers that I have had the privilege of receiving training from, dude. I can't just not pursue music, man. It's like my thing. This is my thing. Like, music is my thing, And so I'm quite excited, and I'm really looking forward to it, but I'm also so thankful, so grateful that it's become possible. There's so many people out there who have a dream, and even if they wanted to, even if they tried to, they wouldn't be able to because of certain circumstances, So the conditions have been created for me to experience that level of joy of participating in your dream, where your dream is becoming a reality. Like, that's, for me, that's major, So I'm so grateful for that, and I'm excited, man. Oh my word! Like, I can't wait to learn. Okay, this is how you write music. Obviously it's not that simple, but like, this is how you perform properly. This is how you practice properly, because I don't know how proper practice goes, I have an idea of how it goes, but I'm pretty sure and I hope this is the case. I'm sure that there's a lot of mistakes that I'm making. There's a lot of room for error, a lot of room for improvement, a lot of room for growth. I hope that's the case with me, because I want to learn more. I want to be the best I can be. I want to reach my potential, man. And that's like, it's so important for me to do that, But yeah, like, that's kind of what's been happening with me lately. What else, man? What else has been going on? Yeah, like I said, I'm trying not to be too concerned with what's happening in the Middle East and Russia and Ukraine and all that stuff. It is important event, but it's not important enough that I should be as focused on it as I am. Like AI, aliens, World War III, dude. I am obsessed with those things, and I shouldn't be, So if you're obsessed with current events and that's all you can talk about, man, I suggest just let it go, But obviously I do have questions, so I'd love to speak to people about such things, But yeah, anyways, wow, man, it's just been a fun ride, and really, like I'm enjoying life, man. Like, to be honest, life has its moments, its tough moments, its challenges. It's, there's a lot of figuring out to do, lots of learning, lots of lessons, But at the end of the day, man, this is your adventure. This is my adventure, and I'm enjoying it, And I've been thinking a lot about that, actually. Like, is it possible that it's your own fault if you don't enjoy something, right? If life is happening and people who have similar circumstances than you, or find a way to laugh, find things to enjoy, find reasons to be grateful, is the problem not you? If they're able to do that and you're not able to do that, is it possible that you might be the problem? Like, I think about that a lot. Like, and I only think about that not in a way to judge the next person, because that's none of my business. I don't care how you feel or think about life, I mean, it would be interesting to know, but it's only interesting to know because I want to be able to apply that to my own perspective, And so when I'm not having a good time, but people around me are having a good time, then I question myself. I'm like, are you not the problem? Is there not something that you are too focused on that is distracting you from enjoying, life? So yeah, and I really, I'm so serious about that, because no matter what happens in life, you want to get to the end of it, looking back and being like, you know what? It wasn't perfect, but man, was it fun. Like that's kind of how that's kind of like, if we're talking about goals and dreams, man, that's the dream. I want to be able to get to my deathbed, whether it's in 10 days or in 100 years time or whatever. And now the scientists predict that the person who is gonna live to be 150 years old has already been born. Like, what? But I don't know if I want to make it that far, bro. Have you seen 80? Like, dude, like, some people are 80 and they look like goblins, dude. They look like, I don't want to look like that, But then again, if you keep yourself healthy and you look after your body, you look after your mind, you eat properly, and with a little bit of luck and some let's see, some proper supplements and medications and all that stuff, and if disease doesn't take you out, you'll probably live a long life. Maybe you'll get to see your great grandchildren, although I don't know, is that likely? If you're 150, can you see your great grandchildren? Like, okay, let's see. Let's say you have kids in your 30s. Okay, let's say you're 30 and you have your first child. Okay, then when now you have to be 60, and then that person has kids. Okay, now you're 60. You're more than halfway there to the end. Let's say the end is 150. Okay, so you're at 60. You have your first grandchild. Okay, 30 years later, your grandchild has kids. That's your great grandchild. Now you're 90. Yeah, you can see your great grandchildren. They don't want to see you because you're old and ugly. The babies will cry. They're like, oh, it's a monster. And then now you're 90. Another 30 years passes by. Maybe you get to see your great grandchild on your deathbed, and they can't even look at you because you're a mummy. You look like a flippin'. You look like a raisin. You look like a dried up, loaf of bread. I don't know. You look like a frog that lost all its moisture. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you look like, or a toad. You look like like a fictional character from a well-known movie franchise, like Lord of the Rings. You look like Gollum, like, ah, my precious. You look like that thing when you're 150 years old, man. Actually, 120. I haven't even got. You might see your great grandchildren. I don't think I calculated properly, but I'm not gonna start over, man. Anyways, what else has been going on, man? What else has been going on in life? I was told about this place that makes donuts, right? They make like specialty donuts. I went there, okay, and it was for my brother's birthday. He loves donuts, so he was like, instead of cake, can we get donuts rather? And I was like, let's go, all right? So I say let's go, but it was just me in the car. I was alone by myself in that shop. Okay. Then, okay, and you know what happened? I'm like, okay, tell me what you want so that when I get there, I can just order it and the guy can give me the things and I can come home. All right? My brother's like, no. Whatever there is there, call me and then I'll tell you what I want. And I was like, okay, whatever, fine. I'm just thinking that's not a very efficient way to do things. I'm always looking for efficiency. And I go there. And first of all, I go to the place where the shop is. I'm lost, dude. I don't know where this place is. And I'm phoning my brother and he's not picking up the phone. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Then I ask people, hey, listen, there's this donut shop. Where is it? They're like, oh, it's right there. It's like, oh, didn't even see it. Okay. I walk in and there's this gentleman here. And I walk in and he's looking at me like, what do you want, dude? Like, here's all the things. What do you want? And I'm like, sorry, listen, I have to phone someone. They have to tell me what they want because they don't know what is here, even though they've been here like 1,000 times before. But okay. Then he's like, okay, no, it's fine. Then I call and then the guy doesn't answer, dude. My brother doesn't answer the phone, So now I'm like, okay, he's not answering. Then he's like, that's fine, it's fine. Then I'm like, okay, just give me a few minutes. And it's like, okay, cool. But he doesn't have anything to do. He's working, bruh. So he's standing there, he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, we're just in silence, And and now, okay, now I'm like, okay, in the meantime, let me see what they got. So I look at all the donuts that they have, and I see, okay, there's a donut. Oh, that looks nice. That's interesting, And that takes me, dude, it takes me like a minute to look through the whole range. And it's a decent amount of donuts, I'm like, okay. Now I try to phone my brother again, and still he doesn't pick up. And I'm like, oh my word, now what do I do? Like, I'm like thinking, like, this is such an awkward moment, So now I'm like, should I try and initiate a conversation? Like, should I make small talk? And I'm like, but I don't like small talk. It's boring and awkward and ridiculous, And then I'm like, okay, finally my brother picks up, but it sounds weird, all fuzzy on the phone. I'm like, okay, shit. I'm gonna send him a WhatsApp. Okay, on WhatsApp. Then he's like, take pictures of everything. So I take pictures, and I'm like, do you mind if I take pictures? I just want to send it to my brother. He's gonna tell me what he wants. And he's like, no, it's fine. I was like, okay, cool. Then I take the photos. Cool. Take the photos, send it to him. And now we wait again. Dude, 10 minutes. 10 minutes have passed now. Me and this guy are just in complete silence in the shop. I've looked through the whole range of donuts like 7,000 times. Now I know everything that's there, and I still do. It's like in my memory now. Like, I could tell you everything that donut shop sells. Okay. Finally, after 10 minutes, I get the order. Then I'm like, okay, cool, thank you. Here you go. Please order these things. And then he's like, okay, cool, thanks. Then I'm like, okay, thank you. And then I told him, have a nice day. And then he's like, oh, so have a nice day. Okay. And then I realized I didn't order for myself. And then I had to run back. And then I ordered for myself. So that was cool. and then you know what happened? I ordered one. And then when I got home, I had it. And it was so good, dude. It had like speckled eggs on. It was so nice. Oh my word. Now I want to try all the donuts. I will go broke, dude. I will spend every cent I have on that place. Just give me donuts, dude. Let me walk out. In fact, roll me out of there, dude. That's how nice those donuts are. I will sit there and eat everything. I will pay for everything. Just let me eat all of it. And then just roll me out. Get a wheelbarrow or a truck or a forklift to take me out of there. Or a crane. Maybe you'll need a crane. I'll be the biggest short man in history. But anyways. So it was quite a nice experience. I'm definitely gonna go back there. That place was awesome. The donuts are incredible. I want to try everything. I want to try all the donuts. And it's so good. Oh my! I can't get over it. It was so nice. Like the texture, the flavor, even like the design. It was like chocolate, and then it had some sprinkles. I don't know what kind of sprinkles it was, but it was really nice. And then a couple of speckled eggs, and that combination. Oh my word! Oh, it was so nice. And now I'm hungry, and now I actually want to go there. But you can't eat donuts for lunch, man. That's a real. Are you trying to be diabetic? Like, what's going on, And I'm not trying to be diabetic, nah. It already runs in my family, dude. But it's interesting, now they say, oh, no, it's a family thing, diabetes and whatnot. I'm like, yes, type 1 diabetes runs in the family. That's genetic, Type 2 diabetes? I don't know, man. That's probably a lifestyle thing, Maybe you just like donuts too much. And now you can't eat them anymore because you're diabetic, bruh. But yeah, so I also read that you can reduce your chances. I don't think you can cure it or prevent it, but if you are gonna get diabetes at some point, you can reduce your chances of getting it if you maintain good muscle mass, which is very interesting. And I wonder why that is. What does that have to do with your insulin and all that kind of stuff? I don't really know how diabetes works. I just know that there are a lot of people who like to eat sweet things. They get type 2 diabetes, and it's a lifestyle disease. It's a lifestyle disease, meaning it's preventable. High blood pressure is a lifestyle disease. It is preventable. But yeah, I think a lot about my health actually, because I've grown up with seeing a lot of illness. There's so many different illnesses in my family, and like I've become so conscious of that. Like it's like even when I'm have you ever have you ever felt guilty for eating takeaways? That it's gotten to that point. Like I feel so guilty when I eat. Like if I go to McDonald's and I'm just like, I love this burger, but I feel bad for ordering it, Or you go to KFC and they sell those insanely delicious dunked wings. You're like, oh my word, give me all the dunked wings. Let me bath in the dunked wing sauce. Let me bath in it and let me drink it from the like I don't know. I just feel like, like put it on my body and throw me in the deep freezer. I don't know. Anyways, got a bit wild there for a moment, but that sauce is so good. And then I feel bad. I'm like, yo, you shouldn't eat this, man. It's not good for you. But I can't help it, dude. It's so delicious. But anyways, I feel bad. That's what's been happening lately, because I've been like working out. I've been trying to see my six-pack again. That's an important thing. I haven't seen that thing since high school, dude. And that's a sad thought, man. I've been out of high school for 10 years, meaning this six-pack has been missing for 10 years, dude. I'm trying to get it back, Right now I've got about 2 out of 6, So what percentage is 2 out of 6? 2 out of 6 is 1 of 3. That's 33%. Okay, so I'm 33% there. Okay, so I'm making progress. So yeah, I can already see 3 out of 6, 2 out of 6, ab muscles. So I'm getting there, and I'm quite excited. It's just that now when I go to these restaurants, if I eat something delicious, something nice, something you don't normally eat, or like a piece of cake, or even a donut, like all these little treats, you're like, yo, should I do this? Am I not gonna go back to 0 out of 6, or actually 1 out of 6, and the one is just like a duck pants, It's not a 6-pack, it's a 1 bag or a 6 bag, whatever. I don't know, but nonetheless, yeah, that's what's been going on with me, man. But yeah, what time is it now? I gotta go. I gotta make me lunch. I'm gonna make a proper lunch. I think I'll have maybe eggs. Eggs is a good, because I've been working out, so I'm trying to get that protein in, get some gains going, get some of that protein action. And yeah, so I'm gonna go eat now. Have a cup of coffee. I really enjoy coffee. I know coffee is kind of bad for you, but man, I can't help it, man. Coffee is so nice. Like, people have tea all the time. Lame. Tea is weak, dude. I don't like tea. Actually, I do like tea. I don't even know why I'm saying that. But I like tea. I like coffee more than tea. And I only really drink tea at like the end of the day. Like you've just had supper, and you have some time to kill. You can just sit and watch an episode or half an episode of a series, or you watch like some YouTube. You just sit and have a cup of tea. That's like a nice thing after supper, and then just to settle down, and then yeah. But other than that, dude, coffee, man. I love coffee, dude. I think I normally have like 2 cups of coffee a day, which is kind of not that great. And I want to have 3 cups of coffee a day, but you have to have self-control, with such things. But yeah, anyways, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. And yeah, thank you for being all over the show with me. I think I'm going to use that tagline always. Thank you for being all over the show with me. Nah, that's lame. I don't know. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Once again, if you haven't already, please do subscribe, and share the videos that you see on social media. I'll put my social media in the description as well. You can check me out on those things. And also I'll put the hotline there as well. Once again, the hotline is 072 012-1804, and that's where you can share with me, like I said earlier. Tell me some of the toddler stories that you've heard or that you've witnessed. What toddlers get up to when they unsupervised. I'd love to hear it. It'll be super funny. And yeah, thank you for being all over the show with me. There, I say it again, but thank you for being all over the show with me. Bye bye.